Welcome back, everybody. This is Sam with a energy report and keys, frequencies. There's a lot of things to discuss, but I actually wanted to keep it within a subject. And so what came through today to share with you guys is to bring through this frequency report, energy report, by answering the question, how do you create a new reality? How to create a new reality? And I feel like part of this is because a lot that's happening right now, it is continuously pushing us, the collective, to open up to the new, create the new, welcome the new, and simultaneously break free from the old, break down the old, recognize the old, all of these different things. And so we're going to dive in. I have a couple of words that came through to assist us in how to create a new reality. So I'm going to go through some of these words, and then each word is essentially a key. So as these words came through for me, as I bring them through here with you guys, it'll allow me to just expand into much more. You may or may not know that everything is quantum. And so while I may seem like I'm all over the place or I'm bringing all of these different things without any linearity, well, there's actually a purpose for that. Nothing is linear anymore. Nothing really has ever been linear. It's just that we had perceived things to be linear. But much of what's happening right now is breaking us out of that linearity. We're breaking out of a lot of things that we did through a linear consciousness, which is an unconscious, which is a lower level of consciousness and all that stuff. And so go with the flow with me. Continue to open up to everything that's coming through, all of the frequencies that are flowing through, every energy that I bring forth in these transmissions. Just continue to open up. You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to believe everything. You don't have to make sense of anything at all anymore, because everything is not going to make linear sense. You, me, us have to continuously open up to this. This is not the normality that we have been taught. This is not in any way, shape, or form the logical, linear process that we still wish at some level that it was, or may believe or want or think. And so, again, we're going everywhere because there's so much to talk about. But coming back to creating a new reality, we have this beautiful, powerful equinox portal in a few days. Many of us have already been starting to feel the frequencies. The portals usually last a couple to a few days before and after the actual date. And so I believe it's Monday when we have the actual equinox. And this is bringing us into a major passageway. We're continuing to go through a deepening. We're continuing to go deeper into absolutely everything emotions, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, our physical structure, everything is going through and will continue to go through a massive amount of recalibration, a massive amount of reconstruction. And so just continue to remind yourself, continue to open up to this, continue to recognize where you're so resistant. That's the biggest thing. I haven't even started to talk about this, but that's one of the biggest things that I see, that I feel that I do for my own personal journey, is continuously recognizing, opening myself up to see, because there's so much to see and there's so much resistance to see, even while we may want to, or we may say, yes, we want to see, yes, we want a new reality, yes, we want all of these different things, we want your earth, we want to live in your earth, all of these different things. It's one thing to say, but it's a very different thing to actually feel it with your whole entire body. Okay, we can talk about this all day. I can throw in words and I can say, talk about my desires and my wants, and yes, I want this. But that is just a fraction of what it's going to take. It's going to take more than words. It's going to take uh, more than even desire at some level. Obviously, it depends on the level of desire. Soul desire is key, but it's going to take much more than just thinking it, than just saying it, and even really starting to become very meticulous about what we do. Because even what we do, even though we may think that what we're doing is creating a new reality, there's still a lot underneath that we have to feel into. There's a lot of resistance because we fear the new. Yes, we want a new reality, but in deep inside of us, our ego is so scared of the new that it will do everything to prevent it. Your ego perceives new as a threat, as dangerous. It's very fearful. All of your protection mechanisms are going to come through, and it's going to be really, really important to continuously work through this. Feel this. Feel where you are resisting the exact same thing that you say you want. Okay, because this is creating this. I learned I learned a couple of words to express this: cross purpose, or double purpose, where it's like you want this, but deep down you don't want it. So you keep pushing it away, and you keep resisting it, and you keep putting out these barriers. So it's going to be really, really important to always go deeper into the resistance that you have towards absolutely everything. And this is a tricky one because it sounds so silly to think that we are resisting the new. We're resisting new earth. We're resisting this whole, we're resisting peace. We're resisting all of these different things that come, that are part of our new reality, new earth reality. But it's not as silly when you start to really feel into the deep, 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 deep programming that we've accepted, the programming that we created and that we followed. Okay, it just becomes very normal to really tune into this and really feel all of these different things. And so really feel into the resistance, the control, anywhere you're still fighting. If you recognize, if you can own that you're still fighting the old system, then you are resisting the new, because creating a new reality doesn't come through fight. It doesn't come through us fighting. That is part of the programming that makes one believe that you're actually creating the new by fighting the old. And it's this loop cycle. You're just in this loop cycle, going in circles over and over and over and over and over again. And you're never getting anywhere. You're never actually really creating the new. You're just so scared of the new that we will distract ourselves with absolutely anything to keep us from actually doing everything that we need to do and feel everything that we need to feel in order to create the new. So really, really important. I may not even go like in order here, but it's a couple of things that came through that I want to open you up when you start to really bring through the energies that will allow you to create a new reality. And there's so much coming through, even like not even aside from what I had written down. So one of the things to open up to is to recognize what's going in your current reality right now. You want to feel into everything that you're living, everything you're experiencing right now. Because when you start to see your reality as a whole, you're going to have a much higher perspective of what's going on. Technically speaking, the reality that you're in right now is supporting you in creating a new reality. There is absolutely no way for this not to be so, because from the moment that we're born here, everything is about creating the new. And obviously, when we're born, we're don't have really the conscious awareness of, right? So there's a process that we all have to go through in order to get there, in order to become more conscious of this. But everything that we have chosen at a soul level it's to literally bring through the new. So there is no wrong path. You're never in the wrong path. You never take a wrong step. It's just a step that will eventually get you to that new reality. So when you open yourself so fully so that you can see everything that is occurring in your reality right now, you're going to start to see things that you've never seen before. You're going to start to feel things that you've never felt before. This is one of the biggest keys. Every one of them is a really big key, by the way. But I say this because I want to emphasize this. This is one of the biggest keys that will allow you to shift realities. Okay. You don't actually get to create a new reality if you're resisting your current reality. Resistance is this loop cycle. You never get anywhere. So coming back into when you allow yourself to just see more and more and more of what's going on right now in your current reality, you're going to start to feel. And feeling will always be huge. Consciously feeling everything that is coming through about your reality will allow you the opportunity to appreciate that reality much, much more, like at a deeper level. If you cannot see your reality right now, you're not going to be able to know its purpose. You're not going to be able to appreciate it. You're not going to be able to Recognize how your current reality is a stepping stone to your next reality. Does that make sense? So opening yourself up to what's happening right now, opening yourself up to this reality right now. Because while it might not be highest aligned, whether it may or may not be fully what you want or 100% what you want, there's a reason why you're in this reality right now. There will always be a higher purpose for why you're in this reality right now. And the more you open up to this, the more that you allow yourself to just be so fully present and engaged in your current reality, you're going to start to feel it. It is the biggest thing with every reality. Every reality will activate and trigger an emotion. When you open yourself up to consciously feel this emotion, you break yourself free, which means that you're no longer in this unconscious belief that you have to be in this lower dimensional unconscious reality. When you come into consciousness and you come into full awareness that everything in this reality is just, it's literally just to activate an emotion within you. You feel through the emotion, and then you recognize, I don't have to live this miserable reality anymore. I don't have to live suffering. I don't have to live XYZ way. I can open myself up and live as light. I can live in a new reality that supports me, that brings me peace, that I am worthy enough of a reality that serves my light. When you can't see, when you can't feel your current reality, at some level you are going to continuously live in this reality because somewhere inside of you believes that you deserve to be in this reality. You need to pay for something, you need to sacrifice, you need to martyr, or you need to be a martyr, all of these different things. Every single person comes here to transcend their current reality. This technically never really stops. We just continuously open up more and more and more and more and more. And we shift and change our reality organically. The moment you open your heart and your body, you expand your consciousness. As soon as you expand your consciousness, you automatically give way for your reality to shift. Okay. When we talk about creating a reality, just basically changing your reality, it's done very organically. Okay. You don't have to try. You don't have to force. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to convert anyone. You don't have to push things from resistance. Because as soon as you open up your mind and as soon as you open up your consciousness and you expand your consciousness, you're opening up a portal for more energy to flow, for energy to flow faster and vibrate faster. And automatically that shifts things in the most magical, profound, unbelievable ways. As seriously, take this in. This is all about opening up your heart, opening up your body, and opening up your mind. And you just never stop. When and as you do this, your higher mind, higher self, higher heart aspect comes through. This is the aspect that is connected to absolutely everything and everyone. This is the aspect that shifts things. So when we talk about creating a new reality, we have to continuously opening up to create a new reality from the soul, from higher self, from our God self, not from our ego. The ego will keep recreating the same reality over and over and over and over again. This is the karmic loop cycle. This is the unconscious loop, karmic loop, whatever you want to call it. And we have to continuously feel into this. So as you continue to open up to a new reality, there's going to be a lot of things to feel. And again, this goes back to, yeah, we may say that we want to create a new reality 100 times a day, but we have to continuously open up ourselves to really feeling whether everything we say, everything we do, everything we feel, everything we're in alignment is soul aligned. Because if it's not, then we're not really creating a new reality. Or we are creating a new reality that's ego-based. And this will, at some level, collapse. An ego-based reality is based on fear and lack. Anything that you create from fear and lack is bound to collapse because it's not on solid ground, it's not on solid foundation. And so this is quite tricky. And even for myself, going through this passageway with you guys, going through my own journey, there's been a lot of things that have come to my awareness in the past few months that were just that allowed me to realize that I was creating a reality based on fear and lack, which is why I kept, nothing worked. And then I kept going into circles, or I kept, going around and around, not really getting what was going on. And even recently, I have to continuously feel into whether or not I'm trying to convince myself that I'm doing something new when I'm really not. And this is just like, it's really important to become so real and raw and honest with yourself and recognize that, yeah, it's like it's like it may look like I'm doing something different, but I'm really not. And I have to continuously feel into this because I can feel myself when I'm trying. I can feel when I'm just kind of going back to what I was doing before. And somewhere deep inside knows that I have to continuously open up to a completely new way of doing this. And this is also really big thing with creating a new reality, is that what you've been doing before might very, very, very likely not be at all what you're supposed to be doing right now. And that's a harsh one to take in, even for myself. And even being here, even doing these things, sharing things in this way, I have to continue to feel into it. And obviously that goes with everything else that I'm doing right now. There is let me say this. We have to continuously feel whether, I'll just repeat myself, whether we're doing the same thing, but just pretending or like making it seem like we're doing something new. And so it's tricky because we've been doing it for so long, and it's been part of what's happening is it's a fear-based protection mechanism coming up to the surface that keeps us bound to that loop, keeps us bound to just doing the same thing, but maybe calling it a little different, whatever the case may be. And so really start to continuously open yourself. Your continual self-discovery, self-exploration is always going to support you in this journey. Because the more you know about yourself, the more you know what you love and what it's highest for you to focus on in this part of your journey is going to be absolutely 100% key. We have a lot of things that we came to do. When we talk about creating a new reality, there's a gazillion realities that we have to recreate. So a gazillion realities that we have to reconstruct. Okay. This is not an overnight process. This is a continual opening up more and more and more and more and more to absolutely everything. Our sole purpose right now is our sole purpose right now. And it may not be our sole purpose next year, even next month, because everything's shifting so fast and everything's just like accelerating so quickly. And we have to continuously open up to this because this is a normal part of this process. We were so used to just doing one thing for a long, and just attaching to one thing and doing it over and over and over again. But this is no longer the case, especially because we are going through a massive amount of ego dissolution, which opens up and activates a massive amount of higher self aspects too. When you open up to more higher selves and you activate more higher selves inside of you, then every higher self is going to have a distinct purpose, which means we're going to have a lot of purposes. And every purpose may not be aligned to fulfill every purpose all at once. It's more than likely not going to be like that ever. And so just continue to open up to, again, your current reality right now. When we talk about purpose and stuff like that, the biggest thing and the simplest way for me to put it is the more that you fully focus on your current reality right now, you're already living your purpose, because your purpose will always be here and now. Be fully anchored in your body, be fully present, be fully open to everything that is happening right now. Because when you are, you're going to receive more clarity and more guidance of what else is needed from you, what else is soul aligned. But you can't know if you're not in your reality. You can't know if you are not anchored in your body, fully present of everything that's going on around you. So super, super, super massively important. I'll go through and I'll throw in a couple of words that tie into the malleability and how to mold your new reality. The reason why, let me say this. One of the biggest things that gets a little tricky, gets a little confusing, is that when we talk about creating a new reality, when we talk about our remembered state as creators, right? Oh, we're creator beings, which means we can create a new reality, which means we can change our reality, we can mold and shape our reality in whichever way. At the beginning, this phrase, this energy is ego based. Okay. The ego, it's like this, it's like it's half ego, half higher self. And I actually just had this come through on a session where the messages coming through were literally half ego, half higher self. And it was interesting. It's never really come through like that and just in general for me, but I could see how this is also the case. Where when we talk about, oh yeah, I'm a creator being and I create my reality. There's a lot to this, but when at the very beginning, and I will say this, you have to continuously dissolve the ego aspect that is saying this. Oh, I can create my new reality and I can just force it and like work really, really hard for it. When we start to open up and our ego starts to dissolve, we come into a very, I'm going to use the word humble space, and we come into a phase where we're following the leader, which is our higher self. The reason I say that is because as you continue to open up to this and your ego starts to dissolve, you have really you don't have the knowledge you once had, which means you have to relearn everything from scratch. Okay. So let me just say this. There's so much to this. I'm kind of having a little trouble like putting it all together in a way that makes sense. When you're born, you're a little baby. Okay, a little baby is just fully open, it's fully surrendered, it's receiving, it's being held, it's being nurtured. It is creating its reality right there. Okay. Now, it's a little tricky. Not doesn't get a little tricky, but we don't really talk about this because, oh, it's a baby. It's not conscious of what it's doing, and yet it is. But the baby is so open that, and I'm generally speaking, obviously, there's a lot of experiences. I mean, we all have many different experiences as babies, but generally speaking, when you're a baby, you're fully open. You don't even have to say what you want. You don't even have to like be conscious. I mean, it is conscious, but a baby is just so open that it's receiving food, right? It's being held, it's being nurtured. The baby is not verbally saying this. The baby just is. The baby is just in this phase where it's receiving things. So when I say when I just because I just finished talking about like when we say, oh, I'm going to create my own reality because I'm a creator being, it's like having a little baby attempting to say that it wants to be an architect or a teacher or the president of the United States. It's not really like, it's not going to say that. It's just going to be fully present in the moment, fully opened up to receiving what it needs in that moment. If that makes some sense. I'm having a little bit of a challenge here, but needless to say, coming back into the basics, when you fully surrender to your light, you are already in an open state, open mind, open heart state where your reality is being created in that moment. You don't have to know exactly the ins and outs and the 20 steps needed to create a new reality, because you don't have to figure it out from your head. This is not a linear mind process. This is a trusting in your higher self guidance, trusting in your universe, trusting in your higher self, God self, whatever you're gonna call it, so that it guides you, and all you have to do is follow it. Okay, we don't become like leaders before we open up to being, to fully surrendering and being that pure child that is willing to relearn how to do absolutely everything. So there's a couple of more things, but it's so funny that, this might just be like a writing that I do for you guys. Because what's coming through right now as I'm doing this video is like, it's different. So it's interesting how this works. It will always be different. This probably will never cease to amaze me how just everything just, you don't really have to plan ahead. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything, when you're fully present in this moment and you close your eyes and you just feel into everything, all the information is going to come through in that moment. You're going to know exactly what to do. You're going to know exactly what's the next step. The more you open up and the more you become so fully present within yourself. It's one of the biggest things. And if you're not fully present, are you able to recognize? And I say this because a lot of us don't even know that we're not. We think we are, we say we are, we pretend that we are, but we're really not. This isn't to bring you down, or this isn't to make you feel unworthy. This is just to make you conscious that you're not fully conscious, that you're not fully in your body, that you're not fully present. There's something going on that keeps you in denial, and it keeps you pushing your reality. When you keep pushing your reality, when you keep hating your reality, when you keep resisting your reality, when you keep forcing your reality, when you keep trying to change your reality, you are not fully conscious of your reality, which means instead of changing it, you're just living in this loop cycle and creating the same thing over and over and over. So, might just bring this to a close. Continue to open yourself up to absolutely everything, especially because there was a part here that I was like, it's just, I see it, and I see what I'm trying to say, but like I have to let it sit with me, inside of me, a little deeper, so my body can so that my body can translate the energies that I feel, that I see, in a way that actually makes sense. So, anyway, with that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I do have my schedule opened for private coaching, private sessions. So I'm going to put a link below so that you guys can check that out. I am doing a donation-based system right now. It'll probably be for the next couple months. And so it doesn't matter how much you're able to donate. I'm just opening this up for those that are ready, that are willing, that would like to receive more one-on-one guidance. And we can talk about, the exchange, but it is donation based, so I don't have an actual set price for now. I know that will change. So, if you are ready, absolutely 100%, enjoy this opportunity, enjoy the opportunity that I'm being guided to do right now. So, and I'll put another more link in the bottom, in the description below, to my new e-magazine. I'll be putting that out quite regularly, every other week, and then I will be putting more mini versions of it throughout the week, so that everything that I share, like on social, has like a little home right now. And I say that because I have not been, I haven't been guided to much with the website. It's still down. I have a lot of things down. I did away with a lot of things, social media, website, even books right now. And so it's just starting from scratch, which is obviously a huge deal for me and for everyone that is also being guided to do that, because there's a lot of us that are being called to do that. So a lot of us that are being called to do things different, to let go of a lot of things and to start completely new and completely fresh. And if you're not in that phase yet, you will. So just open up to it, because it's a really normal part of the process. In any case, just wrapping things up. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for receiving this. Thank you for listening. And with much love, take care.